Ever feel a chill run down your spine when you're all alone? That feeling that you're not really alone? Tonight, we are diving into 5 stories that blur the line between our world and something else. Stories that will make you check over your shoulder and think twice about the silence. So, dim the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. Our first story takes place in an office building scheduled for demolition. Everyone had already cleared out, except for one security guard, tasked with the final night shift. The silence of the empty building was almost deafening. At exactly 2:17 in the morning, the elevator lights flickered on, completely on their own. The guard, a little unsettled, pulled up the security camera feeds. On the monitor, he watched in disbelief as the elevator began to ascend, slowly, methodically. What was truly unnerving was where it was going. It stopped on floors that no longer existed, floors that had been gutted and stripped bare. Then, the digital display inside the elevator lit up with 2 numbers, 13. Floor 13. That floor had been sealed off for decades, ever since a fatal fire had claimed several lives. The guard's heart pounded in his chest. After what felt like an eternity, the elevator began its descent, finally returning to the ground floor. With a soft chime, the doors slid open. Inside, there was nothing but a set of wet footprints leading out into the lobby. But there was no one there. The footprints just stopped. The guard checked every camera, every corner. Nothing. After that night, the elevator never moved again. Next, we journey to a quiet suburban home, the kind of place a young couple dreams of. They had just moved in, their life picturesque and perfect. They had a new baby, and like most new parents, they relied on a baby monitor to keep an ear on her. It all started subtly. The monitor would turn on by itself, emitting nothing but static. Annoying, but they brushed it off as interference from a neighbor's device. Then, the static gave way to a whisper. A faint, raspy voice, just on the edge of hearing. "Don't pick her up." They told themselves it was their minds playing tricks, a symptom of sleep deprivation. But one night, the voice returned, loud and clear, cutting through the silence of the house. "She's not your daughter anymore." The couple rushed into the nursery, their hearts in their throats. The baby was sleeping peacefully in her crib, completely undisturbed. The next morning, as the sun streamed in, they discovered something that made their blood run cold. A trail of small, muddy footprints led from the side of the crib, across the floor, and straight into the solid wall, disappearing completely. Let's check into a hotel for our third story. A newly hired hotel clerk was learning the ropes, and he quickly noticed an oddity. Room 428. According to the hotel system, it was never booked. It was never on the cleaning schedule. The door was always locked, and no staff member ever entered. Yet, every single night, at precisely 3 a.m., the phone at the front desk would ring. The clerk would answer, and a calm, polite male voice would say the same thing: "I need more towels." Night after night, the same call, the same request. The clerk asked his manager, who just shrugged and said to ignore it. But curiosity gnawed at him. One night, when the 3 a.m. call came, the clerk deviated from the script. He answered, and after the inevitable request for towels, he asked, "Who is this?" There was a pause on the other end, and then the calm voice replied, "You check me in." A shiver went down the clerk's spine. He immediately pulled up the security footage from his own check-in, days earlier. The footage showed him standing at the front desk, smiling, nodding, and talking to an empty lobby. He was talking to no one. Now, let's hit the road. In a remote, rural town, a strange tale is shared budget. 128 tokens among late-night drivers. It's a lonely stretch of road, miles of empty asphalt cutting through dark fields and woods. The story is always the same. You're driving, and you glance in your rearview mirror. Far behind you, you see a figure. A man, walking slowly along the shoulder of the road. You press the accelerator, your speed climbs, but when you look again, he's still there. The same distance behind you. Not closer, not farther. Just there, walking at an impossibly steady pace. Most drivers, terrified, just speed up and don't look back. But one night, a driver, more curious than scared, decided to stop. He pulled over, his car idling in the oppressive silence. He watched in the mirror as the Mandiradiri approached, his face obscured by shadow. The man walked at Barthen to the driver's window, leaned in close, and whispered in a voice that was barely human, "Don't let me reach the trunk." The driver didn't need to be told twice. He slammed on the gas and sped away, his heart hammering against his ribs. Later, when he finally felt safe enough to stop and check, he called the police. They found fresh fingerprints, smudged and desperate, on the asterisk inside asterisk of his trunk. For our final story, a family finds what they believe is their dream home, a sprawling, old farmhouse with character and history. It seemed perfect. But as they settled in, they started noticing strange sounds at night. A soft, rhythmic noise that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. In, out, in, out. It sounded, reduction, like breathing. They tried to rationalize it, blaming the old pipes or the house settling. But the sound was too consistent, too organic. One night, a chilling realization washed over them. The breathing wasn't just random, it was in sync with their own. The father, wanting to test this terrifying theory, held his breath. And in the dead of night, the house did too. The rhythmic sound stopped, plunging the home into an absolute, suffocating silence. The moment he gasped for air, the house resumed its slow, deep breathing. They packed Jejic bags and left the very next morning, not even bothering to look back. A week later, a freak storm caused the old farmhouse to collapse. When investigators sifted through the ruins, they found something buried in the rubble of the walls, something that had been there all along. A massive, decaying, organic structure, shaped uncannily like a pair of lungs. Thank you for joining me for these unsettling tales. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the darkness. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.